On February 26, 1869, the 15th Amendment was passed and added to the United States Constitution. The 15th Amendment granted African American men and other citizen men of the United States the ability to vote. Women were not allowed to vote until the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920. But what if the 19th Amendment never existed, and women received the opportunity to vote with men? In order for that change to be made, gender would have had to been added to the 15th Amendment. The 15th Amendment would now read, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, gender, or previous condition of servitude." In simpler terms, no man nor woman will be denied of their right to vote no matter their past as long as they are citizens of the United States. If women got to vote in the 15th Amendment, many major revolutionary events would have been avoided. The suffrage movement, for example, was the largest protest of 1913. Between 5,000 to 8,000 suffragists marched down Pennsylvania Avenue past the White House to protest for women's rights. Some organizationers, like Alice Paul and Lucy Burns, secured a permit to march. The other protesters that did not have the permit were assaulted by the public crowd for campaigning. Many mobs broke out while protesting, and women were injured by the public's outrage. After 70 battles of trying to receive an approval, it finally happened. Women got the right to vote. Another important event took place in 1941. After the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, many American women had to play two different roles. They not only had to work from home, but work in uniform. The women in America had to give up their time and energy for the war effort because the men that usually worked those jobs were out fighting for their country. Not only did women at the time have to cook and housekeep, they had to learn how to fix cars, manage finance, and if they had children, they would continue taking care of their household duties. Nearly 350,000 American women served in uniform. They volunteered in the Women's Auxiliary Corps, known as the Women's Army Corps. They also joined the Navy Women's Reserve, the Marine Corps Women's Reserve, and the Women's Air Force Service Pilots. The women in uniform took office and clerical jobs in the armed forces. Women at the time drove trucks, repaired airplanes, became laboratory technicians, radio operators, and trained anti-aircraft artillery gunners, just to name a few. The majority of women reported they wanted to keep their jobs, but many were forced out by men returning home. Women earn an average of 77 cents for every dollar a man makes on an average day in the United States. Women have to work longer hours to earn the same amount as men. If the 15th Amendment allowed women to vote, women and men would have equal pay. The perception of men on women would be completely different because women would have had the right to vote given to them, but instead women had to protest to get an amendment passed. If women got the opportunity to vote in the 15th Amendment, those two events would have been avoided. There would be no suffrage movement for women's rights, and women would not have had to give up their jobs for the men returning from war because that would have been their everyday job. In the long run, women and men would have equal pay, just like they have the equal right to vote.